Breaking tonight, a growing chorus of Christian leaders now standing up to ISIS, sounding a stark warning after a sickening terrorist video out of Libya surfaced this weekend. The video showing 21 Christians wearing orange jumpsuits marched to a beach, forced to kneel down before the terrorists dressed in black simultaneously slit their throats. Today, Pope Francis asking people to join him in prayer for, quote, our brother Copts, whose throats were slit for the sole reason of being Christian. New York's Cardinal Dolan also weighing in, writing, quote, these aren't sporadic attacks. This is part of an orchestrated fanaticism, an ideology that sees Christianity, Judaism, and any religion of peace as the enemy. He goes on to write, it is a worldwide crisis that cannot, must not be ignored. And the Reverend Franklin Graham saying we'd better take this warning seriously, as these acts of terror will only spread throughout Europe and the United States. The storm is coming. Brit Hume is our Fox News senior political analyst. And so when you look at that landscape, Brit, you see, these Christian leaders taking these threats and these actions very seriously, and some doubt that our president, while taking them seriously, whether he is appreciating the targeting of specific religious groups and the importance of that in identifying this conflict.
Well, Megyn, I think he perfectly well recognizes that those people who were killed were Christians and were killed for being Christians. What he's trying to do is not fan any sentiment that might result in pressure on him to do something really serious about this, because I do not believe that the president is faking when he says that he does not believe that ISIS is an existential threat to the United States of America. I don't think he believes that, and I think he's only doing what he's doing in resisting ISIS because of the pressure that was generated by the beheadings of the Americans and by these other hideous atrocities we've seen. I think he believes that the American military footprint in the world has been more often a cause of than a solution to the kinds of problems we're facing now, and unless he sees what he considers to be an existential threat, he's not going to go there.
What did you make of Marie Harf? You know, they need jobs. If we just get them jobs, then we're all going to be better off. Because what I was asking Thiessen about is, does it play into an overall narrative that's being ascribed to the administration right now of, you're downplaying this?
Well, I think it's true they are downplaying it, and I think what she said was manifestly silly. The fanatic behavior of ISIS and some of these other terrorist organizations is not a product of social problems. It is a product of their version of the religion that they deeply believe in. And what ISIS is doing is true to a path that they have found for themselves in the Islamic faith. They're trying to establish a caliphate, which is different in many ways from the kind of franchise operation that al-Qaeda was for so long. This is an effort to take and control territory, which a caliphate, as they see it, requires. So this is, qualitatively and quantitatively, really, when you think about it, different from the kind of terror threat we faced before, which is why you heard people like Bob Gates and others say that this is something truly different. Martin Dempsey has said that as well. Chuck Hagel said it. I don't think the president, though, really believes that. I think he may believe it's different, but I don't think he thinks it's a threat to the United States. Moreover, he doesn't want to label it Islamic, because I think he has a deeper goal in mind here. I think he believes, first of all, that the overwhelming majority of Muslims oppose this sort of thing, and you don't want to do anything or say anything that would turn them away from your side to the bad guys.
Right.
That's one point. The other thing is, long run, well, it may be, but I think these people, these peaceful Muslims, they know what's going on here. They know that it is a version of their faith that these people rely on and believe in that leads them to do this. There's an argument that's been going on for some time whether the peaceful Muslims of the world, have done enough about it, but that's a separate matter.
Okay.
The other thing, Megyn, you have to keep in mind is, long run, the president is looking at Iran. And while the ISIS fighters are Sunni and Iran is Shiite, I think he thinks that because of that, in fact, Iran in the long run should be an ally of the United States. In fact, I think the core of his foreign policy in the region is a hoped-for strategic alliance with Iran, which is why you see this never-ending search for a deal on a nuclear program in Iran, because I think he believes that getting that off the table and out of the way will help pave the way to the strategic partnership that he thinks is possible. I'm not saying I agree with that, but I think there is a vision there, and it's a big idea.
That would explain a lot. I mean, if you accept that as his fundamental, concept going into the Middle East, that would explain a lot of his actions. Britt, great to see you tonight.
You bet, Megan. Thank you.
Well, people have a right to protest, but did a group of angry union supporters cross a line when they swarmed a house with Governor Scott Walker's elderly parents inside? The governor is here to react in a Kelly File exclusive. And the trial of the man who killed Chris Kyle today nearly came to a complete halt. Up next, the courtroom mistake that had the defense asking for this entire case to be thrown out.